now have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Claire.
Hey.
And today we're talking about the KGB's own Project ISIS.
Not the Islamic terrorists.
No, there's no evidence to suggest that the KGB had a hand in forming ISIS. Well, there might be, I have no idea, that's something I can look into.
That was the CIA.
Well, either way. It was someone. Don't forget MI6.
And then...
Anyway, but before that, we'll do some weird news and thank some new and returning listeners. Alright, so it starts with some new and returning listeners where we got Brussels in Belgium. You're down the list, mate. You're top the other week. We're boring you. Copenhagen, Denmark, Indora in India, Brisbane, Australia, Sofia in Bulgaria, Vesprem in Hungary, Ashburn, Virginia, Robertsdale, Alabama, Santa Ana, California, Shizuoka, Japan, Lucknow in India, London, United Kingdom, Glasgow in the United Kingdom. I'm surprised about that. We've been quite unfair to the Scottish in past episodes. Nothing racist, just, a bit of banter. But...
Yeah.
Boardman in Oregon, Turin in Italy, that's new. Grenada, MS, Missouri?
No, MS. Mississippi,
okay. Sylvester, Georgia. Fort du Lac, Wisconsin. Columbia, Missouri, and Shady Nasty back at the top.
Hey.
No UK in the top 5. Telford nowhere to be seen. And listener, you will be hearing explosions in the background, and we are not under attack.
Yet.
Trump hasn't launched some kind of retaliatory strike on anyone he felt has mocked him in any way. We're not under attack. It is just fireworks night, or fireworks weekend in Britain when we celebrate the last man to enter Parliament with honest intentions, even if that was to blow it up.
And the youth of today are shooting them at each other the other side of the window.
Pretty much. I suppose we better mention the US election, because we spoke about it briefly last episode. We recorded on the night. At one point I didn't think the fucking thing was going to end.
No.
I refreshed BBC News for every day since fucking Wednesday morning in the UK, and it's just stuck on the same fucking figure. I was getting that fed up of seeing it. And I'm just checking in every couple of hours, see if anything's happened. Nope, 243 states counted by Biden, 253. But for fuck's sake, can't you not count any quicker? I mean, fucking hell, I know you're going to get things right, but it's not hard. Biden, pile. Trump, pile. There we go. Sign the name off, tick the thing, make sure it's got the watermark, jobs are good.
Yeah, do that 200 million times, Ben.
You got to give the presenters some credit. They peddled that for a long time.
Fucking hell. Oh, imagine being like, maybe my 72nd hour of US election coverage. I haven't slept in 72 hours. I thought this was going to be over in a day.
Like QVC, but you're selling nothing.
Yeah. And let's go down to another image of Donald Trump driving around in a limo. There goes the limo. No expression on his face. There we go. Okay, what do we think of that?
He doesn't look impressed.
He's not. Congratulations, Joe. Can I call you Joe? You might be listening. You need an advisor of some kind? I could do that. Maybe some kind of media spokesman? I could do that. But anyway, yeah.
I think I won on the predictions, didn't I?
You did. I'm so glad you didn't stay awake for the whole 4 days. You'd have been hallucinating by the end of it.
All I've done is smoke weed and watch the election footage for 4 days.
And I'm sick of wanking to images of Trump.
Did Biden not do it for you then? I thought you'd have hung on for Kamala Harris to come on the screen, or maybe even Trump's wife, in all fairness.
Well, need desperate measures in it.
Well, yeah. I saw a piece in the paper today that they said Ivana, as soon as he's at the White House, Ivana's going to just fucking divorce him.
Yeah.
She's had enough of him. How
Melania.
true that is. Whatever, whichever one it is, I don't know.
Ivana.
That's his daughter.
Milana.
Yeah, you
Milan.
just sort of merged the two together.
No, whatever.
I bet Trump wishes he could do that.
They're made of plastic though, so.
Yeah, if he stands them both close to in a reasonably warm room, they might melt into each other.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Or a womb.
Or a womb.
Think he's going to leave peacefully then?
No.
I want to see him clinging to the doorways as he's being lifted up by a couple of Secret Service. And he's like, no, I'm not leaving. Come on, sir, you have to go.
Oh, I'll meme that up next week.
Because the big rumour is he's going to be arrested the second he's out of office.
Possible, innit?
For...
Business dealings, tax avoidance or evasion, whichever one it is, and potentially at least 20 odd cases of sexual irregularity. Oh, and the fact he paid Stormy Daniels off. Apparently he's not allowed out of, I don't know.
Campaign money.
Yeah.
I've heard that he's going to resign. Pence is going to take over and pardon him.
That's a possibility.
Because the US president can pardon people. Now Biden won't pardon Trump.
No.
Well, Pence would.
Yeah.
Would he?
Yeah,
How many
but-
pence would you have to pay him?
20 pence.
20 pence! 20 cents!
I think my favourite bit of the week was actually seeing that mad woman. I watched it again on the video I sent you, that mad woman saying about angels coming down.
Yeah.
I thought when I first watched it was a prayer, but I think she was trying to get a chant going.
I thought it was chanty culty. Yeah.
But I don't think anyone was getting behind her enough, and then she started speaking in tongues, which I thought was fucking like, and you're like, ooh, that's good.
It's fucking mental, innit?
Yeah. Isn't that like speaking in tongues? Shouldn't that be like quite demonic? Like, what the fuck's happening?
Well, apparently, I assume it's God's channeling into her, and she's speaking the word of God, I guess.
Well, it's not very good if I can't fucking understand it, is
That's
it?
what I was thinking.
We can't hear the word of God, apparently, or something. We're not divine enough, so it just comes out as babble.
Oh, right. So does that mean it's someone out there, that the Pope's like, hey, did you say that?
I don't know. I
He should, be able, to
but
he should be able to understand it. He's the Pope. I don't know. That's the big news this week, really. That's what we'll get down later. But weird news now.
This is big news as well.
This is also big news, just slightly less well known.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Trump backers tricked into joining Gay Communists for Socialism group on Facebook. Basically started one of their Stop the Steal page. These guys with a trolley got 40,000 members, and then changed its name without explanation.
Oh, God.
So thousands of Donald Trump supporters have unwittingly found themselves in a Facebook group called Gay Communists for Socialism after being tricked by its creators into joining what they thought was a pro-Trump election group. On Thursday, a Facebook group called Stop the Steal, a reference to the president's false claims. That's not very biased, is it? Can we be sure they're false at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claim that Joe Biden is stealing the US election. It was disabled by the social network for misinformation after gaining more than 350,000 members. Other groups emerged in its place, including a second Stop the Steal group that attracted more than 40,000 castaways from the original group. But less than 24 hours later, an administrator for the group changed the name to Gay Communists for Socialism without explanation, confounding the new members. Dozens of posts from angry and confused Trump supporters asked, what happened to Stop the Steal? And why is this group called Gay Communists for Socialism? Others demanded, get me off this page! I think that's trolling of the highest calibre.
That's great. That was someone did that for a laugh, didn't they? They didn't, it was never a Stop the Steal page.
No. And then, let's face it, they knew that if they keep Stop the Steal, they'd get it taken down, so why not troll some people too?
Yeah. Okay, next one.
What the fuck the hell is that?
Brazilian man gets tusks attached to his teeth to look like an orc.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, it's
He's achieved it, hasn't he?
He certainly has, yeah.
I just think he'll do it speed dating.
I bet he's on Tinder.
This guy sort of tattooed about 85% of his face green. It isn't all entirely. There's still some blotches that he's doing.
I think that might be like tribal markings.
Yeah.
I think he's got the eyeball tattoos because they're black. And
Yeah.
he's wearing the
Oh.
contacts.
That freaks me out, eyeball tattoos. I don't like that shit.
And
He's had his nostrils cut off, has he? Look at the size that they don't.
He's
look
caught
right,
that on
do
the
they?
tusk.
the tusk is literally like about 2 or 3 inches off coming out of his mouth, isn't it?
Yeah. Terrible for eating a hot dog.
You get dry mouth. You start dribbling. Like.
Oh, yeah.
The man who calls himself Orc has spent a large amount of money and added a set of tusks to his teeth. Orc, who hails from Igutemi on the border of Paraguay and Brazil, already had 80% of his body covered in tattoos. I said 85, it's close.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the past few years, he switched to body modification and currently has 35 changes on his body. He plans to add more in the future. Beside his new tusks, he already had his piercings under his skin, tattooed eyeballs,
Oh.
and a split tongue. I'm trying to be myself. These are just my ideas. My inspiration's coming from the heart. No, it's not. It's fucking Tolkien.
Orc boy.
I'm not inspired by anyone, he said.
Well, you're clearly inspired by Tolkien. Aren't you?
I'd say so.
Or Lord of the Rings. Well, you know, the movie.
That is Tolkien.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if I don't know how well Tolkien describes what orcs look like. I've never read the books. It's all fucking elvish.
I love tattoos, but the eyeballs is a step too far for me.
Yeah, I can't
Every
do
time.
that.
What about the tusks?
That's as well, you know.
Well, the tusks I'm thinking about. I won't lie to you.
I wouldn't be your husband, Claire, though, with
I don't know if they'd let him in the schoolyard, would they? All the kids go, ah, Mummy!
Halloween would be ace, though.
Yeah.
So, he's come as an orc again, has he? Every fucking year, orc. Every year.
I'd love to come as an elf.
If I was him, I'd dress up as a ballerina or something for Halloween. I'd come in a tutu and tights.
Orc ballerina.
What? Who says orcs can't be ballerinas, Mike? Stop being so speciesist. Well, this guy's a lunatic.
You don't say.
I wonder how much
I
he
mean-
spent.
Oh, fuck it.
Well, where do they get the money from? We're led to believe that Brazil was a fairly poor country.
Yeah, if it's
Is he running
everything's
drugs?
relative, isn't it?
Yeah, but how come there's a fucking surplus of body modification surgeons who can just go, oh, pop you some tusks in if you like,
Yeah,
sir?
they'll probably do for 50 quid in Brazil.
Oh, you mean it's like a shop under another shop?
Probably.
It's like the place where Jack Nicholson got fixed up in the original Batman. Look at the tools I have, you know, and he's just got a saw. Okay.
I mean, he looks badass, don't get me
No,
wrong.
he doesn't. He looks like a dick.
But he looks badass, you know, as an orc, but for normal society, yeah, he looks like a dick.
But he needs to
How's
start.
he going to eat? Look
I
at
know.
his jaws, like, plunged forward now.
He's even had his ears done to look more pointy. Ugh. Mate, just, it was a movie. You know, it was a movie. Move on. Right, go on then, next one.
Okay, so Kentucky town elects a dog as the mayor. So a French bulldog, Wildebeest, becomes the new leader of Rabbit Hash, replacing a pit bull who ruled for 3 years. So Wildebeest declared a landslide victory over the other candidates, tallying over 13,000 votes out of 22,000.
That's pretty convincing.
That's good, isn't it? Making him the most popular dog in the history of the town. And the town is called Rabbit Hash, believe it or not.
I wouldn't smoke it, though.
You would.
It's rabbit shit. My suspicions were true.
Last year's rescued pit bull, Brenneth Paltrow, who won in from 2017 till now, this year only got 292
Oh,
votes.
that's poor. Wonder what the fuck it had been doing during his time in charge. Bryneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
And this is Wilburbeast. I love it.
So a beagle called Jack Rabbit and a golden retriever called Poppy came second and third in the race. And they are now Rabbit Hash's newest ambassadors.
Fantastic. You see, diplomacy would be so much more fun if they'd be like, okay, the ambassador from Rabbit Hash is here to see you, sir. And like they send in this puppy. You're like, oh, they can have anything they want.
So the town. So to qualify, you've got as a mayoral candidate, you've got to be able to run from your own home to the middle of town within an hour. What happens if you live right next to the middle of town? Or has they got think they take them to the out?
No, I think it's just like they haven't got a race there. They've just you got to live within an hour.
Oh.
That's all.
No, but so small. Chase a rabbit from their home to the middle of town.
Ah.
Okay. So to vote, the residents scroll down the names of their favourite canine on a ballot paper and then donate $1 to the Rabbit Hash Historical Society.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they've been having dogs as mayor since 1997, I believe.
Wow. Well, I like this idea. I think we should have it in the UK.
Can't be doing any worse than our current politicians.
Well, that's it. I mean, if you would you rather have in charge Boris or a French bulldog?
French bulldog.
Yeah.
Much
Gruntless.
Well, Max is quite talkative. He'd be a great ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he'd go to the EU negotiations and they'd be like, all right, you can have the free trade, you adorable bastard. There you go.
Oh, this is politics. They'll probably fuck the dog and then,
Don't say that. I'm going to think about my poor Max getting sodomised by French politicians. You sick bastard. Well, I think that's about it, that one. But I think this is a fantastic idea, and I may put it to the council that we should have a dog councillor. And people should vote for their favourite dog.
Yeah. Cheaper than having, the mayor turn up and do things.
Pay a
Take
quid.
The dog. Oh.
Exactly. Put a gold collar on the dog.
Yeah.
It's the dog mayor at Telford.
When the real mayor turns up, it's like, oh.
No, it's only. Where's the dog? The dog's been delayed. He is coming. Until then, you've got to talk with me. No.
Don't do firework night.
Yeah. It's his first thing. Fireworks night banned. Fuck you, fuckers. So let's talk about the main thrust of today. It's Project ISIS. Now I'll give you a bit of background as to how I came to choose this because I've never heard of this.
no.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you an insight into where my mind's been over the last 2 weeks, being stuck in a house. So I've been self-isolating. I have watched a lot of TV. Right? It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 a.m. last Wednesday morning. We'd done the Total Recall podcast in the night. I'm flicking to the telly. I find something to watch. And then there's this show. I come across this show on the Amazon, recommended for you to watch.
Oh, that says it all, doesn't it? Yeah, of course it was recommended to you.
And there's this show called The Secret KGB Files. Right, it's from the 90s. I'd never heard of it. It says it's all about aliens and it's hosted by Roger fucking Moore. Right? Your favourite Bond.
Yeah, I did watch it with you last night.
Because I thought, if you can't trust Roger Moore, who can you trust? I'm pretty sure he's Sir Roger Moore. Or was. He's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm watching away and I was like, well, this is fucking awesome. I've got to do a podcast on this. And so I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, in association with Roger Moore, Project ISIS, the KGB's quest for alien knowledge. And what did the KGB find in an Egyptian tomb? First, a little bit more background. Years 1961. The Cold War tensions are climbing. We're just before the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kennedy hasn't been shot yet. Sputnik we've had. Cold War tensions are high, and the USSR is falling behind in the military technological race. The finances of the Soviet Union are stretched besides maintaining the Eastern Bloc. They're competing with the West, and particularly the United States, on many fronts, militarily, economically. The space race eats into a lot of your budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Americans are capitalists. They can just make money. They can do what they want.
Well, their NASA's funded by the taxes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And in the 60s, the US is experiencing one of its most
Yeah.
profitable times.
And it had high taxes on the wealthy, like 71% or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they think, the Russians decide, that America's lead is due to the back engineering of alien technology. I.e. Roswell, 1947, UFO crash, potentially dozens of other crashes in the same area. There's actually a theory the Americans were bringing these sources down using high-powered radar beams and making them crash deliberately to get the technology.
Okay, no evidence of that.
Well, you mean there's no evidence of Roswell?
The evidence was high
Just put a
energy
big
radar
target on the
beams.
floor.
Oh, we got another one, Bob. Just saying, this is what I heard.
Oh, fuck me. That is Trump, innit?
None of this is fake. That's the difference between me and him.
Well, we'll see.
Anyway, they start doing frantic research into psychic capabilities and the occult.
As you do.
As you do, because they thought the Americans were also doing this, and they were.
Yeah.
The American guys were trying to use psychic viewing to spy.
Yeah. Have you actually read the unclassified files about that?
No, but I've read The Men Who Stare at Goats, which is what it's about.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
You know, they had guys who they were trying to get to like a Jedi-like state, so they'd walk in a room and they just immediately take in everything.
They could give them coordinates and they'd be able to see what was there, and then they go and check it and it was right.
Sometimes it was
Yeah,
right.
well, it needs to be once, doesn't it? That's stunning enough. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
say,
like,
like, you know, like, grid coordinates, like a barn or something, and some trees or something, and they'd be able to say where it was, and it's fucking mental.
yeah, apparently they use that for the the alien base on the dark side of the moon as well. That's how they located that. Use remote viewers.
Couldn't check that till 1969, could they?
No. And of course they were trying to get people with psychic abilities to actually, like, they would spend all day staring at a goat to try and kill it with the power of their mind.
Yeah, I saw the film. I wasn't that impressed with the film, to be fair. It was alright.
Yeah, it was a bit shit. But anyway, yeah, they started getting into this again because they're like, well, shit, if they can do that, we need to be able to do that. And it's, let's face it, if we can do that, we can also save some money because we don't need satellites anymore. You know, we'll just get this remote viewer to do it instead. Alright, so, at the time, the Soviet Union had very strong ties with Egypt. This is 1961, only 5 years earlier, in 1956, Britain and France had invaded Egypt in its last show of sort of gunboat diplomacy. They were doing that in protest against the nationalism of the Suez Canal.
Yep.
We basically, the Brits and the French, didn't like that the Egyptians nationalised the Suez Canal, which meant we paid more to get our shipping through from the Empire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quickest way from Egypt to India to Britain, through the Suez Canal into the Med. Major shipping lane. And the Egyptians are like, nah, fuck you, we want all the money from it now, not your companies.
Yeah, well, they built it. The Egyptian people would have built it, wouldn't they? Or I assume they would have probably brought in immigrants as well, but...
Either way, yeah, Britain and France basically invaded Egypt in 1956 to try but the sad thing is the Americans put pressure on the Brits, and the Russians also said, if you carry on, we'll fucking nuke you. And Britain and France then stepped down and said, alright then, we'll call it a day. And that was the last time we ever really tried to do anything like that.
Yeah, we didn't have the backing of our masters. They said no.
Largest invasion fleet since D-Day, actually. So big it was.
Well, I'm glad we failed.
Well, yes. It's fringe science. They wanted to gather intelligence through mind control, is the point of this. But they also know that Egypt is the knowledge. There's always been this rumour of knowledge, hidden knowledge, a chamber of secrets almost, a chamber of hidden knowledge in Egypt. And they're thinking, oh my god, if we can get, like, that shit, we're laughing. Because we'll have the edge then. We've got all this fucking ancient knowledge from aliens.
Right.
Came to Earth. Egyptian mythology, I'll get to it shortly.
So they're big believers then, weren't they?
Oh yeah, look, it's cheaper than making missiles. Now, let's face it, uncovering ancient mysteries and lost knowledge, maybe even artefacts from another planet, would be a huge bonus. Be a massive bonus. It'd level the playing field.
More than level it, they'd be ahead, wouldn't they?
Yeah. And the expedition was organised after the chance discovery of a mysterious tomb in one of the pyramids of Giza. Two Bedouins, who were Arab native desert dwellers, who found the tomb were taken ill and hospitalised after discovering it. When questioned by the KGB and Egyptian intelligence, they repeated they had found the visitor god, and I assume everyone in the room started questioning, started rubbing their hands together in glee. The visitor tomb, eh? Oh, tomb of the visitor. Oh. Immediately, Project ISIS was given the highest priority, and every effort was organised to find and analyse the tomb.
You were rock hard at this point.
Well, that was Roger Moore was on screen earlier.
Well, that's understandable.
The expedition was organised jointly by the two countries in secret for fear the CIA would become aware of their discovery. Worth pointing out, the commitment to Egypt from Russia at the time was so great there was 20,000 military personnel alone in Egypt. Training, supplying, selling the Egyptian shit. They had a big investment in Egypt.
Why were they buying shit from the Russians?
I bet the Iron Sheik didn't like the Russians. He seems quite a cool guy. So, what I alluded to earlier, the Chamber of Knowledge is apparently a record of the past and future of mankind.
Okay, interesting. A record of the future.
The mysteries of an advanced civilization that was there before ancient Egypt, 2,500 years BC was ancient Egypt, the start of the civilization, which did literally just kind of come out of nowhere. The Egyptian civilization, it just kind of overnight is this advanced civilization.
But that confused the Bedouins, didn't it?
I bet it did. As in regards to the Chamber of Knowledge, ancient legend says that it's either under one of the pyramids or the Sphinx. Yeah? And they've done seismic surveys that indicate a huge space underneath the Sphinx. But obviously, because this is Egypt, no one lets anybody go anywhere.
Don't they?
Now, they wouldn't let them dig under the Sphinx in case they fucking broke it.
I thought they'd have been all in everywhere.
No, there's some stuff they won't even let them do. Years ago, they did this thing where they sent this robot up a tunnel shaft that was meant to lead to one of the chambers they'd never been in. And it spent like 2 or 3 hours crawling up this little fucking shaft, and then they give him permission to knock down a door to get through. Yeah. And they got ages. He's like, for fuck's sake, how long is it going to take? And there was another door, and the Egyptian government said nope. It took them years to get permission to bust through this one little door. And as soon as they discovered another one, it was like, oh, well, that's it, we can't go any further.
They've studied it with sonar now, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they've, in one of the pyramids, maybe all of them, I don't know, but there's a big sort of void, isn't there?
Yeah.
In the middle.
So I think, there's stuff still hidden in the pyramids. Now, if you go for the theory that maybe Egypt started off the back of an even more advanced civilization, who knows what's hidden in there? Could be the Chamber of Knowledge.
Could be nothing.
Could be nothing. That's a chance you take. So, according to the reports that were leaked from the Russian mafia, from the former KGB files, that's how this documentary got a hold of them. They got footage of this event and the files through the Russian mafia. A note reads that, quote, "My agents have secured the notes of the scientists working at the tomb and the tomb of the visitor. And they found 15 boxes of artefacts, a partially mummified body, 1 stone sarcophagus, and 8 samples of hieroglyphs." The note goes on to say that during the investigation of the walls, they noticed a strange repulsive force coming out of them. They could not find a scientific explanation.
And what's a repulsive force when it's at home?
It was like pushing away from the wall itself. There was like an invisible force just stopping them getting too close. A partially deciphered engraving on the wall read that a prophecy involving the return of the winged.
It's ominous.
Yeah. Mothman! But the most surprising discovery related to the mummy. For a start, it was 2 metres tall, which is much taller than your average Egyptian at the time.
Okay.
So carbon dating put the body at being over 12,000 years old, which is thousands of years before the Egyptian dynastic pyramid period even. So the dynastic period is when the Egyptian dynasty of kings and pharaohs started. Something back to their, literally the first pharaoh of a unified Egypt. So who the fuck's this guy? If it's 12,000 years old, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah, well, a civilization just doesn't appear, does it? It might grow from a small tribe. Maybe he was an elder of that tribe.
He's in the pyramid. Why is he in a pyramid?
Because they still see him as a founder of the civilization, even though it wasn't as big back then. Maybe. It's possible, surely.
So he could have been entombed somewhere else, then put in the pyramid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the pyramid predates even the dynasties. Maybe the tomb was moved, but maybe it was the tomb of the visitor. But now stick him in the pyramid now.
Maybe. Don't know who he was, do we? So
that's it. Well, according to Egyptian mythology, a family of gods descended from the stars and turned up in Egypt.
yeah, it's mythology though, isn't it?
You know, they taught knowledge and wisdom, Mike. They got humanity up to speed. And if you think about it, Egypt is a really good place to land if you're exploring somewhere, because the pyramids are literally in the centre of the landmass of Earth.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
According
According to Roger Moore.
I thought you said that this is before all the pyramids, so the pyramids wouldn't be there.
Ah, good point.
They built it there to mark the spot.
But
That's
they
why the
would have known
pyramids.
the spot, would they?
They would have known the spot
They
because
would've-
they're coming down from space.
Maybe they were just big S's, spacecraft.
Another
Yeah.
target.
Yeah. Maybe they built the pyramids because they line up with Orion's belt. It's all astrological. Maybe there's something else. So they left behind Osiris, who brought civilization to mankind. After his death, he was mummified and buried in a secret location. And then the Soviets were like, well, what's the real function of the pyramids then? Because what's this guy? Who's this guy? He dates the dynastic period.
Yeah, I just gave an explanation. It could be an elder.
No, astronomical lineups for the pyramids.
Yeah, they read the stars back then, didn't they?
What if it was to channel the energy of the cosmos?
Wasn't there evidence, is there? What energy of the cosmos you want about?
I don't know.
Dark energy?
Yeah. Power. Maybe the people were before like a class 5 civilization.
Well, a class 5 civilization. They wouldn't bother with shitty stone pyramids on Earth.
No, I can't see it.
They owned
The
the
pyramids
galaxy.
didn't look like they did now. The finish has gone off and they used to have a smooth exterior coating.
Well, if they own the universe and you think they'll be able to get something
Golden
that would stand
tops.
for a bit of wind and rain over the years, wouldn't you?
Oh no, they're lasting. Well,
Yeah.
Only just are crumbling, though, aren't they?
They've lost their exteriors
Yeah.
and the golden tops over the years. Yeah, it's alright. Did you watch the film of this footage?
I did.
Right. So it shows, you can find this listener online on YouTube definitely, and if you've got Amazon you can watch the fine investigative reporting of Roger Moore. It shows the discovery of this sarcophagus and these guys basically shovel the lid off it and then this gas comes out. Along with the reaction of the soldiers who were exposed to it. The film cuts then and we end up with the room sort of being set up for scientific analysis, and now all the soldiers are wearing protective suits and respirators.
Someone drank the sarcophagus juice. Didn't they?
In the documents it shows what has been revealed to be found in the sarcophagus is the remains of an alien creature who died in Egypt 10,000 years before the birth of Christ, which is, I think you'll agree, possibly the greatest discovery in human history.
If it's true, yeah.
Yeah. Why wasn't they wearing like hazmat typey suits before they went in?
This is the Soviet Union. They didn't think they needed radioactive suits at Chernobyl to start with. Health and safety was not a priority
No.
of the Soviet Union.
So it was the first two guys that went in that become ill.
Yeah, you can see him on the film getting ill. Or certainly backing away from it, coughing.
It's not going to smell good though, is it?
No, but there's really some stuff coming out of it. I mean, it does look like this gas just kind of rolling out. It's so thick you don't actually see the body at first. It's cleared.
That, to me, that was a bit sort of Someone's put a bit of dry ice in there. You know, it's a bit of mystery, a bit of, you know.
Could be, couldn't it?
Could be. It's a bit Raiders of the Lost Ark, isn't it?
Well, this is communist Indiana Jones in here.
Could be fake footage.
Well, you saw the footage of the alien crash in the... I've got the name of that written down somewhere. Or maybe not. Anyway, the scene of that crash in the video, that looked pretty good.
Yeah, it could be anything though, couldn't it? Could be a test spacecraft. The Russians are using it's crashed and they're just filming it.
It could be aliens.
It could be. It's not definitive proof.
Could be a toppled over water
Tower.
tower, and they just moved it, so it looks like it. Looks like a flying saucer that's sort of like been thrown into the ground, doesn't it?
I think I'm down with this. I think let's start with the beginning. All right. The KGB going out looking for forbidden knowledge. Do you think that's a thing?
Wouldn't surprise me. Nazis did it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. Do you think they found this mysterious body?
Quite possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any more proof?
But like I
Just
said,
the
it could be
footage.
an old.
Just the footage. There's no.
Could be an old tribal leader. Could be anything, couldn't it?
Could be a god. Could be an alien.
There's not much of a god, is he? If he's dead.
Well, they all die.
Do they?
Jesus died.
Was there any attachments, sort of, you know, links to pictures of the skull or the, you know, any of the tests done on the body?
No one knows where it is now. Just the carbon dating. It was that old.
And the Russian mafia got hold of this.
Yeah.
That's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Because they have contacts inside who can get this stuff.
They sold it to Roger Moore.
What did Roger Moore say about it?
Well, you know, he left it up to us.
Always a consummate professional, Roger Moore.
Well, I think I'm with it.
Oh, of course you're with him. No doubt about that.
I'm with it.
I knew that as soon as you put the topic, I knew you'd be with it, of course.
You know I'm a slut for aliens.
I know.
Especially sexy green aliens. Maybe those are 2 meters tall.
Yeah, so the footage of the flying saucer that's stuck in the ground, they're just sort of standing there with their guns, just, you know, no one jimmying open any of the things with crowbars,
One's
nothing.
kicking it and smacking it with a hammer.
Yeah,
Depends
no
what the
tire
orders were there.
kickers.
The orders were just to secure the location until someone gets there.
They're a special team of people who recovered
It
saucers.
could be disinformation, it could be the Russians wanting the US to think they've got something when they haven't.
What if the US had it as well? And what if it was sending a subtle message?
Could be that as well.
That footage was basically smuggled out. It wasn't, and then given to the producers of Roger Moore's fine programme.
Yeah, I know, but it still could be disinformation. It could be a plant. It's not hard to do, is it?
Why don't they just share information of this kind?
Well, they wouldn't in the 60s, would they? And when did the leak come out?
In the late 80s.
There was still a Cold War, I suppose, just...
Yeah, but no side would ever admit to it, would they? Because then they were like, well, we need an alien shit now.
Yeah, well, it's taken ages for the US government to, you know, admit it, hasn't it?
That's it. Maybe them guys are looking for this guy.
Could be. But until there's proof, I can't say either way. I'm on the fence, sorry.
I'm just giving there's evidence, there's film footage.
It could be doctored, it could be fake.
The dry ice effect is too cinematic for me, really.
Is it a possibility that that footage was from an unreleased Russian propaganda film called The Mummy's Curse and how Lenin defeated it?
Could be. Could be anything, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It's interesting, it's, you know...
I think ancient Egypt was a lot more advanced than we possibly give them credit for. If they were having help from star gods.
Not much help, were they?
Well,
They were pretty advanced, but they weren't like, you know, super advanced.
yeah, but you don't like just give everyone everything at once, do you?
Well, maybe they did that to Atlantis.
you know.
Egypt said, well, look what Atlantis did with it, they blew themselves up.
Exactly, no, you don't want nukes. If you gave the Egyptians a nuclear warhead, do you think they'd use it?
Yeah.
Really? I
Of
hope
course.
Because have they got the moral system to think it's wrong to wipe out a city with one go?
Nah, we're humans, aren't we? It's war, then you want the upper hand no matter what. Of course they'd use it.
There you go, so maybe that happened.
Maybe.
So
It's all
the-
speculation.
So the next time when they started these star gods, they're like, right, start with the pyramids. A-bombs come later. Much later. build us up gradually. But if you get a UFO crash, all of a sudden you just jumped a few hundred years ahead, aren't you? If you can get the stuff to back engineer.
Well, it could be thousands of years ahead, couldn't it?
Well, yeah. And also, if you are a government contractor working on this thing, you're not going to go, right, okay, here's our new UFO fighter plane that can do all at 3,000 miles an hour and stop in an instant and then change direction at the same acceleration. Breaks the laws of physics, and everyone's going to go, well, where'd you get that? No one else is even close to that.
I guess they'd have to work out where it was powering itself from, wouldn't they?
That's it, maybe we can't replicate that kind of power yet. They go, so okay, here's the stealth fighter, there you go. That's like a little bit from the alien ship. Then in another 50 years, we'll get maybe like discs instead of aircraft.
Occam's razor.
Yeah, the most obvious.
The thing is that humans thought this stuff up through years and years of top engineers and physicists working this shit out.
But then, what about Roswell?
What about it?
What about aliens? Aliens must have crashed here, mustn't they?
There's no must about it.
It just stands to reason.
No, it doesn't.
Of course it does.
That's the whole point. No evidence.
Roswell's got loads of evidence.
I think if they were visiting us, they wouldn't crash. They're pretty advanced.
What if they were brought down by high-powered microwave radar beams?
That we haven't got.
We have got. We could do it.
Look, the US government admitted there's things in the skies that we don't know, yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm willing to believe that they're probes. Alien probes, possibly. But the fact that it's crashed, we've got the technology, that I'm not on board with. It's too far, too much of a stretch for me. I'm on the fence. Final answer.
Claire?
Too cinematic.
It's made a 1961 communist film. It's not cinematic. It looks shit. The recording qualities were terrible.
That again could be manipulated.
Yeah, that's used to their advantage, isn't it? A bit of fuzz here, and then you're like, oh, I don't know.
Oh, I thought
Too inconclusive for me.
Well,
I believe they're out there, though. I still believe they're out there somewhere. But I don't think they're going to visit and crash ever.
You won't be saying that in December when they invade. So I've got a month.
They're still not going to crash.
They might do.
They're going to hover around us, then invade. They're not going to crash.
We're going to bring them down somehow.
It's possible one may crash at some point. You never know, but I imagine it's probably unmanned anyway, so...
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not. I'm not saying it's open. It can be. It's possible. That's why I'm on the fence, man. You ain't gonna get me.
Well, I think it's a very closed opinion to have, Mike.
What are you on about? It's the most open opinion you can have. I'm willing to listen to both sides of the argument, and anything that's more conclusive than the other, I may say my opinion.
What if one did crash and it was like aliens, and no one sort of really noticed it crash, or maybe they did, but then it's away,
Maybe there is like an alien from Aliens patrolling the woods at night, impregnating foxes.
Yeah, I think it would reproduce pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think
we'd see it.
It'd have taken over a country.
Yeah.
Sure.
Be like, all of a sudden, Colombia's gone dark. And then just one by one, all the countries just start disappearing into chaos.
Yeah, into
I think
chaos.
we'd know then.
Face suckers everywhere, trotting around the place.
Oh, they'd be so cute.
They'd be taking over cows and everything, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, I suppose they'd start with cows because it'd be easier to catch, wouldn't
Well,
they?
or your foxes or your badgers.
Yeah. As long as you can get a face sucker on it, you're
It
away.
takes that genetic code of that animal and turns it into something different.
An alien snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got an albatross, you'd have flying aliens.
Well, that's a fucking shitty day,
A big
isn't it?
giant bat.
Oh my god, I mean, they're bad enough on the ground.
Yeah. They have a field day on this planet.
Yeah.
You'd have ones in the seas like as big as sharks.
Oh. Fuck.
Blue whales.
Oh man. Killer whale aliens. come out with them big teeth, and then another fucking equally massive jaw comes out.
When they've totally taken over the Earth, then what?
You have to go
Just
live in
an
space, don't we?
alien Earth. They start eating each other and that.
They'd go dormant, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd also hibernate. Wait for the next food source to come along. Oh, it's like that movie with, what's his face? They have the alien cell in space and then...
Pitch Black?
Nah. It evolves and it's on the space station. Oh, it's called Life. It's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yeah, that's alright. It's pretty
Yeah, the alien gets to Earth. He tries to fire himself off into space, doesn't he? But he gets to Earth and he's just... The entire pod's full of this alien.
like a jellyfish octopus thing,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. I think I watched that as well. It was like, because it's just leaves you at the end with that pod, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's screaming at him not to open the hatch.
Don't open that.
And then they're like, oh, he must mean open the hatch. What's that shit in there with him? Doesn't matter, open it up. He should have really wrote it on a piece of paper.
Where do you think that from?
Post-it note stick on the window. Don't open, alien inside.
Or just breathe on the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science offer does it again, boom.
Fucking hell, I think that's the place to end it.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Oh, we'll end the show on some weird news then.
Yep.
You weren't for it then, Claire. You thought the production values were too shoddy.
Yeah.
One day I'll get something that convinces you.
Maybe.
I hope so.
I thought if Roger Moore couldn't convince you, you can.
I hope so. I really want to be a believer.
Alright, okay. Alright then, let's end on some weird news.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Dad labelled gross for getting poo tattoos with his kids' names on his leg. Wow.
His little shit.
The dad of 6 captioned a picture of his inkings that were complete with flies and corn remnants. I got my little turds tatted on the back of my leg. There's a picture of the turds.
A bit, yeah.
He proudly shared the picture of his new inking and the internet was not impressed. Viewers slammed his body art as fucking gross.
His tattoos feature each of his child's names along with a sketch of their business.
Lovely. Wow, well that's classy.
That one looks like a leaf.
You argue they all look like leaves, really.
Bobby's got big shits, hasn't he? Better than else. He's a beast, is Bobby.
Yeah. I like flies flying around and then.
It's a bit fucking grim.
Yeah, isn't it?
Someone else wrote, ruined your whole leg. And they're calling it the trashiest thing they'd ever seen. That's certainly shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, I thought they were leaves at first, so they're turds.
Leaves falling down his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, one especially does look like a leaf.
Yeah.
Like a leaf. The other one looks like a rolled up tobacco cigar.
Yeah. It's crap tattooing. I don't approve of it.
Why would you want that?
Some people are just dickheads, Mike. So it boils down to.
Quite obviously.
No, I think that's all we're getting out of that one.
Next up, Indian doctor paid £72,000 for Aladdin's lamp after being fooled by fake genie.
That's fantastic. I hope you've dressed up as a genie. With like curly shoes and a turban. My lamp!
Dr. Liak Khan told police in northern state of Uttar Pradesh that a trickster pretended to be an occultist and made a genie appear from the lamp saying it would make him rich.
It's not even a very good lamp.
It's battered, isn't it?
Yeah, but that makes it more realistic, doesn't it?
It does,
if it's
yeah.
brand new, then. The genie apparently was a second con man who was in on the swindle.
Well, no shit. For a second there, I really thought he made a genie appear.
The impressed victim paid 7 million rupees for the lamp, but when he brought it home, a genie failed to appear.
Would you wait till you got home? I'd get in my car and do it.
Yeah.
Imagine just putting the lamp on the passenger seat and driving home and just looking at it. I wish I wasn't stuck in this traffic jam. Oh, I'm still in the traffic jam. It appears there's been a mistake.
Yeah. And he realised he'd been victim of an audacious scam and contacted police. Dr. Khan told news outlet NDTV.com that he met the two men while treating a woman he thought was their mom.
I want to see Dr. Khan's qualifications because I like to think the doctor of all people would not believe there's such a thing as genies living in lamps and grant wishes. And if my doctor does believe in that, I don't want him to treat me anymore because clearly he's not going to treat me very well.
No.
I can see it now. A lot of the guys like, watch this. Rubs a lamp, bit of dry ice, an explosion. His mate comes out behind the curtain, dressed as a genie.
Painted himself
I'll take
blue. Here's the money.
It's so stupid because if it was a lamp with a magic genie, why would he be selling it for £72,000?
He's had his 3 wishes.
Ah, that's possible.
But
where you're coming from.
You could have wished for, X amount of £1 million, so you wouldn't really need £70,000. So I'd be questioning that first. Well, what have you wished?
Yeah.
That's true, but what have you wished for? Why are you still living in this shithole?
Why didn't you wish your mum to get better?
Yeah! I used all his wishes up at that point. Maybe she overdosed on a supply of drugs he got for her by wishing to make her better. Or just non-prescription stuff. Maybe she don't eat on coke. Heroin. He wished for some heroin for his mom. She OD'd, she went nuts. I wish Mum had all that heroin she needed.
Apparently this guy wanted to touch the genie, but they told him he couldn't because it would harm him if this guy touched the genie.
Well, that makes sense, I suppose.
They took him to a priest or a baba and they started brainwashing him.
So he got brainwashed then as well.
They brainwashed him and robbed him basically and just left him with a lamp.
Now that is elaborate. It's a lot, but it seems like a lot of effort.
I don't know, they got nearly 100 grand out of it.
Yeah, alright. But it seems like a lot of effort that I've got to buy. First of all, I've had to purchase a lamp.
Yeah.
Second of all,
it's about a couple of quid down the flea market.
Second of all, I'm going to buy my mate a genie costume and cut him in on the deal. Then I'm going to get this priest in on it as well to brainwash the guy. So I'm going to cut another way.
Well,
At the same time, I'm going to buy the dry ice, the pyrotechnics.
Still have a 20 grand in your pocket.
And then find a mug.
Exactly. Find a doctor of all people. He'd better wish for all disease to end. Well, he's not much of a doctor, is he?
No.
Hippocratic oath and all that. Here he is with the magic bullet to cure everything. Oh, give me a drug that we can take once a day and start you getting any disease.
Wouldn't even need that. You just say eradicate all human diseases. Or any disease on the planet.
I was being generous and suggesting that you might have had a stake in that drugs company.
Ah.
Capitalist.
Capitalist pig.
Well, he's going to make some money out of it somehow, hasn't he? Just come up, he just wished a
His
genie.
second wish could be,
Yeah.
so that means he doesn't have to work, his first one, if everyone's not
All
ill.
the wealth in the world.
Then I'll have... Well, that's greedy as
There's
well.
no point in having all the wealth in the world.
£4 million. I don't know.
Everyone else will be peasants.
I've never seen Aladdin, so can you wish for bad stuff to happen? Is there a certain element of karma?
He's not allowed to kill anybody. He's not allowed to make someone fall in love with somebody.
It isn't real, Ben. What are you on about? This is Aladdin.
I know
What
the
are the rules?
I'm just saying, what are the rules?
I don't know. Sorry, Claire.
Rule number 3 is no more wishing for more wishes.
Could I wish for more genies?
I just said that word for word. Yes, you can wish for another genie, because that's what happens in the film. Haven't you seen it?
No, I've never seen it.
Well, Jafar wishes to be a genie, and he wants to be on a powerful genie! And then, like, you get little cuffs on your hands, and then you get sucked into the lamp appears, you get sucked in, and then you're somebody's,
Slave? That sounds terrible. Who wants that?
But first, you've got to get discovered in the Cavern of Secrets.
Oh, right, okay.
So you may never get discovered.
Yeah.
There's an earthquake.
So I'm stuck in a lamp.
Yeah.
Possibly for thousands of years.
A sofa.
Thousands of years until somebody finds you, like in a tomb,
But
in Egypt type
have
thing.
Have I got like a miniature apartment studio in this lamp? Have I got a bed and a telly?
When you take the lid off, you can just see your face and you're like real squished.
Oh man, that sucks even more.
You really haven't seen it?
No.
It's a great film. Great.
Oh well. This guy sounds like a fucking idiot. It's a doctor as well, so I can't get over.
I know.
Oh man, well that's the best scam I've heard of.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
last bit of news.
So, loyal dog makes a 62-mile journey in 2 weeks to find her owners.
Oh.
So, a golden retriever from China has spent the last 4 months at her owner's friend's house, 62 miles away from home, before she decided to make a break for it. Oh. This loyal dog walked 62 miles in the quest to be reunited with her owners.
Did the dog know where they were?
She didn't actually make it, if you read it down a bit.
Oh.
She was found by somebody and...
Oh right, well that's a relief.
Yeah, it didn't actually find its way home itself. It needed human...
Intervention.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, so it was found 100 kilometres away from their home, and someone, dropped her off.
So she got hopelessly lost then?
Yeah. Yeah, it needed a bit of human help, but she made it home.
Hey!
Oh.
Well that's heartwarming.
It is.
Maybe we should become mayor of that town.
She didn't do it in an hour.
Maybe they'll move her there.
Didn't
Oh.
do it in an hour, yeah.
Fucked up facts.
Yep. Got a jingle?
Facts, fucked up facts.
Brilliant.
Go on then, Mike, hit us with a fact.
10% of Americans think it is acceptable to start drinking at 10 a.m. or earlier.
Seems like perfectly fine to me. Don't have an issue with that.
On a weekend.
Day off. Yeah, on a day off, if it's, it's going to be a nice day, you can take the cool box down to the garden, filled with beer.
Can't say I've partaken in that. Sort of like 12, 1 o'clock, or usually, even on a summer's day with a hot, really.
There's festival rules.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Festival rules are furlough rules as well, so you can do that. As long as you don't do it every day. Just a couple of other days.
I've got to drink 9 to 5.
That's what I was doing! I was drinking 10 till 6.
Drinking 9 to 5.
Trying to make a living. Thank you, furlough scheme.
In 1995, internet pioneer Robert Metcalfe predicted the internet was on the verge of catastrophic collapse.
When did you do that again, sorry?
1995.
Oh, he's fucked that, hasn't he?
In 1997, when it had not collapsed, he printed out his words, put the printer in a blender and ate them.
I thought you were going to say spread it around and called it the Millennium Bug.
More than 90% of the world's population consumes caffeine on a daily basis.
Wow, weirdly, I'm one of the other 10%, but not one of that percentage. That fits in. I think it's okay to drink at 10 a.m, so I don't need coffee.
But do you drink Diet Coke?
Yeah,
Caffeine in it.
Well, I don't have coffee.
What's worrying is that 90% obviously is going to include children that shouldn't really have caffeine, should they?
Yeah, fuck it, what can go wrong? They'll just have to crave it, that's all.
A cosmic gas cloud has been discovered with a heartbeat that is in sync with a neighbouring black hole, but scientists have no idea how the two are connected as they're 100 light years apart.
Oh, they're in love. So it is.
One's beating and one's pulsating in time with it.
Yep.
They're in love, I'm telling you. That's what it is.
They're coming closer, right, as well.
We're going to be devoured in a massive orgy.
Super magic black hole.
As long as there's a whole new meaning to that phrase. That's what happens after the orgy. That's what everyone's left with. A supermassive dark hole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hairdressers in Mauritius are offering free haircuts to residents, as their excess hair can be used as an ultra-absorbent material to clean up an oil spill on their shores.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
I'd brave the shade for that.
Do you bet?
Yeah.
I shaved me anyway, so it works for me.
The ancient Greeks not only had mobility ramps to enter their temples, they also paid a maintenance allowance to disabled people who were unable to earn their own living.
See? Ancient Greece, it's alright.
Yeah, DLA back in the day.
In 1992, a metal detectorist in Suffolk went in search of his lost hammer
Right.
and found more than 27 kilograms of Roman artefacts, including 15,234 coins, dozens of silver spoons and 200 gold objects.
What does he have to do with them? Does he have to hand them in, or...?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you do get a fee, though.
Possibly.
But it's
Gotta-
shit.
That's how Nicolas Cage made his money in National Treasure, the finder's fees. Just so I'm basing my knowledge of that on. Yeah, because that the guy that found all the Saxon stuff that was like the biggest find ever. It was on the show in Birmingham Museum, so I mean they have to take donations, didn't they? And so there was government would have to buy it off them to put it in a museum. It was a state museum, wouldn't they?
Well, I think it's just skanky if you've took the time to find it. You know.
Yeah, I've spent 15,000 fucking denarii. What's that work out at nowadays? Fucking money. That's gotta be a fair bit. I don't know. And all the gold. Oh, I want to go metal detecting now.
Yeah.
We can find that bloke's hammer.
You just want to have it.
No, but no, with our luck, we'd find his hammer.
There's probably shit tons out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
I bet you there's loads on the bottom of the Severn. I bet if you dredge that up.
And they used to dredge that every so often. They have to do it with the rivers.
Yeah, it's certain. Not at every point, I imagine.
Oh, we're on the banks of the Severn. There's gotta be loads, I know. It's massive.
Yeah. I'd go with one round there.
Alright, well, it's flood season, so you try to, eh?
Like what you want for Christmas, then, Mike. Yeah, detect it.
And some waders, and I'll be away. During World War II, the famous "Keep Calm and Carry On" posters were never used.
No, they weren't, that's true.
Officials nixed the campaign because it was thought to be patronising and divisive.
I just think it's quite humorous.
I think they just dug them out and profited off them years later, haven't they?
Just a bit.
It's true.
The average American has 16 friends.
Well, they're doing better than me.
3 extremely close friends. 5 people they like and would spend time with one-on-one. And 8 that they consider friends but would not seek out.
I suppose that kind of makes a bit sense when you put it that way.
Yeah. That's right, innit? But, you know, on Facebook, if you haven't got like 400 friends, you're a loser.
I've got less than
Is that how
100.
it goes?
I
is
don't
it,
know.
Mike?
Well, that's not, how many have you got, Mike?
I've got about 4,000.
What have you got?
130 something, I think. 140.
I think I've got 190 something.
I don't know how many I've got.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
400.
I don't really keep count, but
I only saw because I looked the other day, to be fair.
I bet some people keep count, don't
I was looking for people to get rid of.
but there's no way that out of them 180, 90, whatever it is, that you wouldn't go seek out company with, would you? One-on-one.
There's a few I wouldn't.
That's what I mean.
There's a lot I wouldn't.
Well, there's a lot. That's what I mean.
Well, how many of them walk past you in town with
Or vanish into a shop. How many times have I vanished into a shop? Put me hood up.
I'm like, ah. Social flower.
Yeah.
In 1982, 37% of American dads had never changed a diaper. By 2000, this had declined to just 3% of dads.
The emasculation, the demasculation of humankind.
My brother did 2 with his daughter.
Was that it?
Yeah, the whole time she was in nappy.
It'd be something I would try and get out of as much as possible.
I'd say me and my husband 50-50.
Don't know, it depends what it's like. If I open it up and it's like, oh, that's not too bad, I'll do that one. But if it's like a complete fucking mess, I'm just like, no, put it back on, hope you know, so I hope the wife notices.
And then just
walk out the room, put the baby back and walk out the room.
she comes over to it, she's like, oh, you smelly, and then just you're like, yes!
Yeah, got that one covered. That was all over him, he's going to need a shower.
Yeah.
I used to babysit, so I used to have to do it.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's not too bad, is it, really? Come on.
Well, it's horrible, it stinks to fuck, and it's horrible, but it's not, it's only for a few seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to take a guess what was the most popular hat worn in the Wild West?
Let's say it wasn't a cowboy hat.
Correct.
I'm going to go for one of them ones with over your ear, sort of mitteny, sort of, not mittens. You know, like the ones with the ear flaps.
Like a lumberjack hat.
Sort of, yeah, I'm thinking warm.
Deerstalker.
Yeah. Deerstalker. Yeah.
That's got the flaps, hasn't it?
Yeah, got flaps and
Is that got it? Yeah, Deerstalker.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, sort of like that, but real fluffy.
Okay.
I will go for the cold side of the West.
Yeah. Gets cold at night.
I will go for like, it's like a slouch hat, just like it's got a brim, it's floppy, but it's a floppy brim, it's not a rigid cowboy hat.
Where are you both from?
Oh.
It was the bowler hat.
I was going to say bowler.
I
Fuck.
can see that about town.
I can see certain people having a bowler. You always see bowlers in westerns, don't you? Like the guys in the
business owners normally, and the bankers and things, and
yeah, I guess
the politicians and.
Oh, he's not my people. My people are with the tile pats. Waifs and strays.
You're in like Colorado, aren't you? Usually, I was thinking California, so I was going like keep the sun.
I don't know where I am, but I just know that it gets cold at night. There's a fire. You're cooking up some beans.
Cooking up one of the people who've died because
Missing a few teeth.
You're in the Donner Party and you're trapped under 15 feet of snow, and you start eating the dead. We'll have to do the Donner Party at some point. That was just quite an interesting tale of cannibalism and survival.
Oh, is it like that film? You know, the one where they crashed the plane?
Alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it was actually incredible anyone survived at all at the Donner Party. We'll do an episode on it at some point.
Okay, you are likelier to die on your birthday than any other day of the year.
There's even chance, isn't it? Lots of famous people have died on their birthday.
You're more likely to die on your birthday.
And more likely.
Yeah.
Surprise!
That's what that means, isn't it? You are likelier to die.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Well, why?
Surprise party.
Surprise party.
Could be.
Dying from shame at the lack of surprise party.
Yeah.
People get pissed on their birthday.
Yeah.
Accidents.
Fall about the place.
Walking onto a car.
Yeah. Or they do stupid stuff like I want to go bungee jumping or, swimming with sharks.
How many people on their birthdays get ripped apart by sharks? I want to know.
go swimming with sharks.
Surely a Florida man has.
Or maybe they're just out on a night in the town and then some guy runs into the bar, screams something in Arabic and detonates himself. But you wouldn't have been there if it wasn't your birthday. It's not the kind of place you go usually. You just go a bit fancy out of the town. Oh,
Moving on.
How tragic.
Moving on from the terrorist attacks
Just saying it could happen.
on people's birthdays.
The world's toughest known bacterium, Deinococcus radiodurans, can resist 1.5 million rads of gamma radiation, 3,000 times more than would kill a human.
Well, it didn't kill Bruce Banner.
Do you want to know what it's known as?
Cockroach.
The Hulk.
Close. Conan the bacterium.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, but if it's got more gamma radiation than that, would they then mutate into a very small Incredible Hulk? A bacterial-sized Incredible Hulk, because he was made by gamma radiation.
You'd call it Bruce then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. So it didn't kill Bruce Banner.
The fossilised Viking poo.
Nice.
The Lloyd's Bank coprolite.
Right.
That's what they call fossilised poo, a coprolite. It was found in York, where a branch of Lloyd's Bank now stands. The depositor had a diet of bread and meat and had a lot of intestinal parasites.
Sounds fun.
Sounds like he wasn't cooking his meat properly.
Yeah.
Sounds like he liked things a little bit too rare.
Simply smelling someone who is happy also makes you happier.
Explains us so fucking miserable all the time, like you reek.
I wonder if that's why Joe Biden always looks happy.
That's what it is. Who's happier than a young woman on stage at your convention, eh? Sniff their hair, get happy. Well, that explains it all. No, I don't think any Trump voters got a basis to call him creepy. Well, it's anyone really.
There are 109 journeys between tube stations that are quicker on foot than by train.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I can believe that. The amount of stairs you got to go up and down.
Oh, fuck yeah. And they are literally on every corner.
Do love the tube though.
Yeah, me too. It's actually quite nice compared to some. It's not as bad as it used to be anyway when you had murderers hanging around down there.
I didn't really notice the murderers. I was just going shopping in London or going to do whatever I was doing in London.
Well, you're off a barricade while you're on your day out, or, you know, when you're a Brazilian plumber and you don't understand people shouting stop at you. And then, you know, you get shot 6 times in the back of the head by an SAS marksman. Who knows?
Alright, last couple. Golfers can get golf ball liver from licking their balls. Let's see if their golf balls on their ball.
Golf ball liver, what's that then?
Fuck knows, but they can get it.
Your liver turns into a golf ball. I suppose it's because you I don't know with golf, do they change the ball every time they do a hole?
I don't know, I didn't know they licked the balls, but apparently they do.
Well, they treat all the greens and stuff, so you don't know what sort of chemicals your
Yeah.
balls are going to have on them, do you?
That's
He's
it.
licking now.
Well, I don't know, I've never licked my balls. I've tried.
Get your caddy to lick your balls, honestly.
Yeah.
You're paying for, isn't it?
That's even weirder.
You're paying them, aren't you?
I don't think you're paid to lick your balls. Well, they could be prostitutes, I don't know. How much? I'll lick your balls for an extra tenner. Well,
You'll get golfer's liver.
I'll get golfer's liver for you. I'll risk it.
But they're on a fine salary.
Any of the tips?
If you fire lasers at the brain of a fly, you can make it have sex with a ball of wax.
Alright. Well,
Why don't they just put another fly near it? Or something...
I don't know, but I really want to try it. I'm gonna need a fly and a candle
And a laser.
and a laser pointer.
Yeah. What the fuck are scientists doing?
They could have killed cancer by now, but no, they're pointing lasers at flies' heads and then watching them fuck a ball of wax. Well, I mean, that's entertaining, but how much grant money's gone towards that?
Maybe it's towards mosquitoes, if they can get flies to sort of, you know, fly towards the wax. It could, you know, help with mosquitoes, and they could be marketing some sort of...
Laser defense technology.
No, he put a piece of wax. Oh yeah, where's the money going to come from?
You're gonna
I
have
haven't thought this through.
It's going to be like that room Catherine Zeta-Jones gets into in that film she did. Entrapment.
Entrapment.
Yeah, she's going between all the laser beams. So your room would be like that.
Yeah, I really haven't thought this through.
You'd have to have the switch on your bed so you can get Right, fuck you, mosquito. No, I watched Resident Evil the other day, the first one, and they get shuffled into that corridor.
Yeah.
And that laser grid thing comes out.
I love the first one.
I got bored.
Did you? I thought it was good. Do you like it?
Yeah, I thought it
I
was
like
good.
the first. I've watched them all, but they get a bit shitter, don't they? Like the sequels, but
That scene was ace though.
That scene was great, but then I just got a bit bored.
The dogs looked a bit fake as well, didn't
Yeah, the CGI didn't hold up on them.
No.
But even so, yeah, I'll try it again. I got halfway through.
It's got that Rodriguez chick in it. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I just look at her as being typecast now as tough female soldier.
Yeah.
So that's every role she ever plays, and you're like, oh man, is this where it all started for her?
It started Fifth Element before that, wasn't it?
She in Fifth Element?
Mila Jovovich was in Fifth
sorry.
Element.
I'm on about the other bird. What was her name?
I don't know.
I called her Rodriguez, but I don't even know if that's her name.
And she was in Battle LA as well.
Yeah, and she was in Avatar.
Where she was a tough female soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been typecast over the years, but hey, she's made a living out of it, hasn't she?
Yeah. She's good in that role, so, you know.
This must be quite limiting for her. Maybe she's a really good
I'm
actress.
sure she's done other stuff.
Alright, well, okay. Just lamenting her career, that's all. I mean, sure, like she's been successful, but...
Do you think she's a good actress?
She's alright, she's good at what she does, isn't she?
That's what I mean.
Yes, I'd find it as an actor
Yeah.
a bit like, oh man.
Yeah.
All I'm going to be is Tough Female Soldier 1.
But when you got to pay your rent and shit.
And she's been in some big films.
Yeah. She's not an A-list actor though, is she? She
No.
shouldn't be on the big books.
No, but still been in some big films.
Mm.
Or certainly big B movies.
Well, she'd been in Avatar, and that was massive.
I thought that was boring as well.
I love Avatar, didn't you?
Until
Did you
the
like
end.
it?
I like Avatar.
I liked it.
Lost me in the middle, all the hippie crap.
It was a bit confusing with the getting into the old pods, and I'm like, why can't they breathe the air? What's going on? Oh, look at all that, like, you know, cute little blue alien things.
I think they can breathe the air, it was just that they wanted to learn about the...
Cat people.
Yeah,
Get
so...
into their their bodies, and they're so much bigger and all
so
that.
therefore,
like,
then they can experience being in that body and in that tribe, being one of them.
Gaining their trust, hearts and
Yeah,
minds,
it's
and then
probably-
moving in and raping their home.
Yeah. Well, they weren't there to do that, were they?
They were there to infiltrate them.
No, Sigourney Weaver wasn't. She had to study them.
Yeah.
Well,
Of course,
whatever.
the military comes wading in. Once
And also, the end of that sucked. There's no way those fucking... that line of humans in them next suits will so rather lose to a bunch of fucking animals. Hold the fucking line, suppressing fire, come on! And you train soldiers! The fuck's that about?
As a planet uniting against the
Well,
corrupt
they
capitalist
took
humans.
prisoners, that was their mistake. Sent them back, didn't they? Should have sent back their fucking heads, that would have stopped people coming.
Ben's the only person that watches Avatar and analyses the fucking human invasion and thinks that he could have done a better job.
Why you gotta improve on things?
My husband, I do take some things like quite literally. If they get things wrong with the film, I'll be like, I just can't get taken away with the film, and if I'm questioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, why have you got to question everything? And I'm like, because, you know, that's what I do.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. Did it. Game of Thrones for me when she started burning everybody. Totally took me out of it. I was like, no, this is bollocks.
Yeah, but if you set that scene to For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, it looks fucking awesome. Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Well, the whole end of that show sucked.
Anyway, if you fire lasers at a fly's brain, you can make it have sex with a ball of wax.
I think that's a great place to end.
Yep.
Yep.
And so, I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Don't drink the flavour aid. Don't join the cult. Follow us on Facebook.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
And I've been Claire, and keep an open mind, but not so open that it dribbles out your ears.